Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about something most men wonder about, but rarely ask out loud. As a urologist, I hear this question all the time. Does size really matter? You've probably seen 100 videos claiming to reveal the perfect number, but what if I told you science paints a very different picture? Researchers have actually measured this, and the results might surprise you. It turns out what women say they want isn't always what you think. And especially for men over 40, there's something far more important than inches, something that directly affects confidence, connection, and performance. So in this video, we're breaking down what science really says about size, what women actually value, and what truly matters for men as they age. Let's start by uncovering one of the biggest myths in men's health, the myth of size. Let's be honest, size is one of those topics that men talk about quietly, but think about constantly. For decades, movies, pop culture, and locker room talk have created this idea that bigger automatically means better. But when you look at the actual data, science tells a much more balanced and surprising story. In one of the largest studies conducted by King's College London, researchers analyzed data from over 15,000 men across different ages and ethnicities. The average size they found was about 5.1 inches, with most men falling within a very normal range. Now here's the interesting part. When women were surveyed about their satisfaction, more than 85% said they were happy with their partner's size. What does that tell us? That the obsession with numbers is mostly in men's heads, not in women's preferences. Another study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that women cared far more about emotional connection, communication, and confidence than any specific measurement. In other words, how a man makes his partner feel often matters much more than the physical dimension itself. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Stress and insecurity about size can actually affect performance. When men constantly compare themselves or feel anxious, it can reduce blood flow and make it harder to perform well. So ironically, worrying about size might do more harm than the size itself ever could. So if you're over 40 and you've been silently wondering whether you still measure up, remember, science suggests that satisfaction has far more to do with connection, confidence, and health than with any number on a chart. The truth is, women's preferences are more complex, more emotional, and far less focused on what men often assume. And that's exactly what we're diving into next, what women actually want, based on science. Now, here's the part most men never hear from their doctor. When researchers actually ask women what makes a great experience, their answers go far beyond numbers or appearance. In fact, science shows that what women really want often has more to do with how a man connects, rather than any single physical trait. A study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior found that women consistently ranked emotional intimacy, communication, and confidence as the most important factors in satisfaction. Many participants mentioned that feeling emotionally safe, understood, and connected during intimacy made a bigger difference than anything else. That means confidence, not size, often sets the tone for attraction and enjoyment. Another interesting finding came from a 2015 study where researchers used 3D models to ask women to choose their ideal partner. While some had mild preferences for certain sizes, most women chose realistic, average ranges and said they cared much more about how their partner treated them and how confident he was in himself. This shows that confidence and chemistry play a huge role, even more than men realize. For women over 35 or 40, the focus often shifts even more. Many report valuing stamina, presence, and emotional connection, qualities that help create comfort and trust. These are things that naturally come with maturity, communication, and good health, not necessarily youth or size. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Attraction is complex. It's emotional, psychological, and physical. When men take care of their overall well-being, managing stress, staying active, getting enough sleep, they're not just improving their physical health, they're also improving their confidence and energy, which women naturally pick up on. So when it comes down to what women actually want, science suggests it's not about bigger, it's about better connection, communication, and confidence. And that brings us to the next big question. If confidence and stamina matter most, then what can men, especially over 40, actually due to improve both? Let's talk about that in the next section. By the time a man reaches his 40s, his body naturally starts to change, and that's completely normal. Hormones shift, metabolism slows down, and energy levels might not feel the same as before. Many men notice changes in stamina, drive, and even confidence, but here's the truth: these changes don't mean it's all downhill. In fact, with the right habits and mindset, this stage can become one of the most powerful phases of a man's life. Let's look at what science says. Around age 40, testosterone levels gradually begin to decline by about 1% per year. That might sound concerning, but lifestyle factors like diet, sleep, exercise, and stress have a major influence on how this process actually affects you. Researchers from Harvard and the Mayo Clinic have shown that men who maintain regular physical activity, a balanced diet, and healthy sleep patterns often preserve their energy and sexual health well into their 60s. Exercise, especially strength training and cardiovascular workouts, helps improve blood flow, which is crucial for performance and endurance. Meanwhile, managing stress and maintaining emotional balance have been linked to higher satisfaction and better confidence. It's all connected. Physical health, mental clarity, and emotional stability reinforce each other. Another key factor is communication. Studies on long-term couples show that open and honest conversations about intimacy often lead to stronger emotional bonds and better satisfaction overall. For many men, confidence grows not just from how they look or perform, but from feeling understood and supported by their partner. So instead of focusing on what's changing, focus on what can improve. Better nutrition, consistent sleep, regular checkups, and emotional connection all play a huge role. Science doesn't promise instant transformation, but it does show that men who take small, consistent steps toward wellness often feel stronger, more energetic, and more confident than ever. And in the next part, we'll bring everything together to understand why confidence and connection matter more than any number, and how you can start making real, science-based changes today. So, after looking at what the research really says, the answer becomes clear. Satisfaction, confidence, and attraction aren't determined by a single number. They're built on connection, communication, and overall health. What truly matters, especially for men over 40, is how you take care of your body, your mind, and your relationship. When you focus on improving energy, staying active, and maintaining open conversations with your partner, you naturally build the kind of confidence that no number can replace. That's what women notice. That's what keeps intimacy strong and fulfilling over time. Remember, your health is your foundation, and every small, consistent step makes a difference. Eat well, move daily, rest deeply, and don't be afraid to talk about your health with a professional. Science shows that balance and awareness go a long way. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more science-based insights on men's health and confidence. Comment "science" below if you'd like me to break down natural ways to boost stamina and energy after 40. In the next video, we'll dive into the real reason why men lose stamina after 40 and how to reverse it. Stay tuned, your best years can still be ahead.